This is the Life Amongst the Giants Chapter 1 reading. The audiobook is coming soon, so I thought I'd celebrate by showing y'all a little bit of what that's going to sound like. So, let's get into it. Chapter 1. Hide to Survive. In the midst of a giant forest live the Zurich, a skittish clan whose traditions consist of avoiding bloodthirsty monsters and hiding in a hole. Today is a day of hiding. Again. The people of Zurich tremble in their underground hovel, hoping that the thunderous thud they heard earlier was only a tree branch. They sit slumped against the dirt walls, not daring to peek outside, let alone move, until sundown. All except two. Two young women, the last alive in their generation, walk down a dark stairway with only a single lantern to light their path. Their skinny shadows dance on the brown walls with the flicker of the lantern light, growing in size as they tread deeper and deeper into the cavern. They walk nearly in sync, the old floorboards groaning with each step. The girl on the left has round, sharp eyes as blue and ambitious as the sky above. The one on the right, eyes brown and kind, the most patient eyes in the world. As the only teenagers of Zurich, they're always together, and always restless. "How long until my mom notices we're gone?" the girl on the right says. She probably won't. She's too busy freaking out," the one holding the lantern replies. She peers into the darkness ahead. The lantern illuminates the sandy tone of her skin and the bronze of her hair. The warped shadow trailing behind her makes her short haircut look like a frizzy mess on top of her head. "Hey, Lillian?" the other girl whispers. Her voice bounces off the narrow walls. The athletically built girl holding the lantern turns to her friend. The other girl stands a head shorter than Lillian, whose frame is slim and tall. The lantern reveals her face, round with an undefined jawbone and high rosy cheeks. Tucked behind a headband, her shoulder-length blonde hair looks almost orange under the lantern's light. She clutches her most prized possession, a necklace with a wooden pendant of a tree hanging from it, with glued-on stones as the leaves. Her brown eyes flicker with worry. "What, Mary?" Lillian replies. She can't hide the annoyance in her tone. "What do you think is out there?" The blonde girl points to the surface, her hand shaking. She can't stop glancing around, even though there's nothing to see here. The walls and ceiling are rotting redwood, and the stairs are the same, withering away from years of disuse. "Probably a plant-eater," Lillian replies. She stays focused on what's ahead, waiting for the tunnel to end. "What? No, we wouldn't hide from that," the blonde says. Now she looks irritated. "Oh, yes, we would. It's happened before," Lillian adds. Their clan hides from everything bigger than them, so they're usually below ground. They say it's for survival, and they're probably right. Still, Lillian has to believe there's more to life than this. That's why she doesn't break her focus on the tunnel. They're almost there. "Well, even plant eaters can be dangerous. It's better to be careful than crushed, after all." Lillian rolls her eyes. "Really, Mary? Quoting your mom?" The way she sees it, Zurich is a little too careful. They bolt underground at a single boom. It could be a giant monster or a tree branch falling to the forest floor. They flee too quickly to know. It's sad, quite frankly. "Hey, it's a good saying, and true too," Mary continues. "You know, you really should try to listen to my mother. She gives great advice." "Right, like how we shouldn't sneak down here, yet you came with me anyway." Before Mary can make a rebuttal, the lantern's light expands, illuminating a huge room. "Yes, we're here," Lillian says. The faint scent of firewood hits her nostrils, the smell of the forge. It's such a comforting scent. In Lillian's opinion, the forge is the best room in the burrow. Unlike the cramped bedrooms and crowded storage spaces, the forge is easy to walk through. Their ancestors kept it in excellent condition. The floor is made of smooth gray stone, and the wooden shelves lining the walls remain straight and sturdy. A large metal table occupies the center of the room. In the corner, a rusty anvil sits next to a furnace. The furnace is made of grayish-brown hardened clay with a round oven opening. Inside the opening is a metal grate in a dusty pile of coal. Coming out the top of the oven is a long pipe leading to the surface. Of course, no smoke has pumped out of it in years. "So, can you tell me why we're here already?" Mary asks. Lillian bolts into the room, refusing to acknowledge her friend's question. In all honesty, she didn't hear half of it. She's too focused on showing her what she found. Please, please still be here, the eager girl thinks to herself. Shelves of various boxed items line the walls of the small cavern, from shafts to spearheads to blocks of stone and glass bottles of adhesive for dagger making. Lillian runs her hand across the boxes as she walks. Some of the weapons may look cool, but most pieces in these boxes aren't special. Rickety sticks and shafts and no metal to speak of. They get the job done, but she won't settle for that. She wants something quality, like the weapons she grew up reading about. Luckily, she's been here a lot, and after a tireless search, she has found something that fits her standards perfectly. Under the box, in the very corner of the forge is... Yes! Still here! Lillian grabs the object from under the bottom shelf. Eagerly, she sprints to the metal table in the middle of the room and places it gently on top. Take a look, Mary, Lillian says, smiling from ear to ear. Oh! Mary gasps, her eyebrows raising in interest. It bears the design of a classic Zurich spear. This one is different. Better. This is going to be my weapon when I become a surveyor, Lillian says proudly. The spear is about 5 feet long, with a shaft made of polished redwood. The shaft won't break, not for a long time. Bands carved into the wood mark where one would place their hands. What's more, wavy etchings cover every inch of the shaft, highlighting a myriad of shades of red that would otherwise be hidden in the grain. It reminds her of tree bark. Unlike the bands, this pattern appears to be for decoration only, so different from the utilitarian make of most of their weapons. It has 2 spearheads, one on each end of the shaft, but one is bigger than the other. The blades are made of a luminous metal, not stone, although Lillian can't tell what kind of metal it is. How did you find this? Mary asks. It was in the back, under some crates. I'm surprised no one else is using it. It looks just like it came out of the fire. Lillian ogles the spear, looking closer at its mysterious luster. In the torchlight, it glows red, as if still hot from its forging fire. She picks it up. The spear feels heavy in her hands. Truly a relic of Zurich's great past. She thinks of the process they might have used to make such a weapon. The temperature of the fire would have had to be just right. Next to the oven sits an old set of bellows. That would have been used to blow air into the furnace, meticulously stoking its flames. Lillian would have loved to see that in action. But there isn't anyone left who knows how. She plucks the lantern from its place on the table and holds the larger spearhead closer to the light. The mysterious metal reacts to the change. Whoa! Mary gawks. It's turning all different colors! Yeah, I've never seen anything do this. The eager girl moves the blade back and forth, closer and farther from the lantern, watching it turn bright shades of red, orange, and yellow, reflecting the flickering fire. The bright colors dance across the forge walls, bathing the cavern and the girls in a kaleidoscope of lights they have never seen before. It feels almost magical. It's perfect for you, Mary says, her eyes sparkling. But will your dad let you keep it? Lillian frowns. She fixes her gaze on the dusty wooden ceiling, still dancing with lights. Not sure. If you bring this back up, they'll know you've been sneaking down here again, Mary says dismally. I know. Lillian crosses her arms. If they bring this up the stairs now, her father will be the least of her worries. She wonders how Mary's mother will react. Lillian's so close to leaving the burrow. Does she really want to sabotage all that for this spear? This odd and very awesome spear? She stares at it. It glows a strange combination of colors now. Bright orange with dark green in the center. Where the green came from, she has no idea. Still, the blades themselves look as if they could cut through steel. She would certainly fight better with this spear. Plus, leaving it to rot in this collapsing forge would be a shame. I really like it, Lillian asserts. Why would they let such a valuable weapon collect dust down here? It doesn't make any sense. Maybe it's a keepsake? Mary asks. We won't know unless we ask. That's true, and I want to know. You'll back me up, right? Mary smiles. I'm always on your side. Lillian's blue eyes brighten. I knew I could count on you. That's why she brought Mary down here in the first place. She knew she'd understand. She's the only one who ever does. With newly acquired confidence, she grabs the spear and heads up the stairs. The girls try to walk as slowly as possible, savoring their time together. Mary fiddles with her headband. You know, if we both try to convince the adults to let you keep it, I bet even your dad will come around. Lillian rolls her eyes. Yeah, sure, if he even shows up. Ever since he became the chief, he is always gone. She wishes she could explore the giant wilds with him. The vast canopy of gargantuan swaying leaves, the mossy terrain, the river so clear one could see every rock at the bottom, the sunny flower fields and dark root caves. She wants to explore it all with her father, with the surveyors. Instead, she's stuck every day in these cramped halls, her unkempt hair and tattered clothes coated in dust. To make things worse, every time the surveyors return, her dad pretends she doesn't exist. Always too busy, even for his own daughter. Suddenly, something touches Lillian's shoulder. Mary stares at her with concern. Lillian didn't realize she'd been lost in a world of her own. Seriously, it's going to be okay. The red eclipse is soon, and you'll be with him in no time, Mary says, as if reading her mind. Yeah, you're right. Mary smiles widely. I'm proud of you, Lillian. This is the first step to... From above, a familiar sound cuts Mary off, followed by a... That's the burrow door! The blonde shrieks. And it sounds like someone opened it in a hurry, Lillian adds. The girls sprint up the stairs. What do you think is going on? Lillian asks. Whatever it is, it's bad. I've never heard the trapdoor open in such a rush, Mary says between panicked breaths. When the girls emerge into the mudroom, the first person they see is Mary's mother. Her hands are clamped over her mouth, and her white hair stands on end. At the far end of the small tunnel that slopes gradually upward, light streams into the burrow. The trapdoor is open, and a group of people rush in. Lo and behold, Lillian's dad stands at the front. The surveyors are back. As the surveyors clamber down the narrow tunnel into the burrow, some collapse into the dirt. All are caked in sweat. They look like they just sprinted across half the giant wilds. Lillian's eyes lock on her father. He looks nervous. That's not like him at all. Her dad stands in the center of the group, his bronze hair dripping with sweat. His hair is longer than Lillian's, reaching his shoulders. Being the second largest in the community, he is exactly 7 feet tall. He has an air of authority to go with his imposing size, too, because he possesses a trait rare among their people: optimism. No matter what befalls them, he always finds the bright side. He keeps them hopeful. However, the only emotion he's showing now is fear. His sharp, hazel eyes are wide and darting about the room. Sweat drips off his thick beard and onto his armor. Lock the door, now! Lillian's father commands. And make sure it's camouflaged! A creak and a slam follow from above. The last of the surveyors trickle into the cavern of the exit tunnel, just as out of breath. Clan members emerge from various hiding spots in the mudroom, trembling. Seth! What's going on? Mary's mother, Miss May, asks. The children of Zurich surround her. She wraps her arms around them and whispers words of comfort. Seth places a hand on his large forehead. There is a pause, as if no one knows what to say next. Mary clutches her necklace. She does that when she's nervous. The surveyor's fear seems to have spread throughout the room, rendering everyone speechless. Lillian doesn't understand why. They don't even know what has happened yet. She decides to speak up. You met with Albion, right? The surveyors of both clans ran into each other a while ago, and neither wanted to fight, so negotiations were arranged. Still, there are many ways that could have gone wrong. How did the peace talk go? Did they attack? Some surveyors flinch at the name. Albion. Seth grits his teeth. I'd like to tell you how the conversation went, but it kind of didn't happen at all. What does that mean? Mary's mother asks. She keeps her arms around the children. They're the ones who were attacked, not us, Seth says. He seems to struggle to find those words. By whom? Lillian asks. There aren't many enemies in the forest, other than the monsters. Just spit it out, Mary's mother urges. I can't take this suspense. The chief sighs, scratching his sweaty beard. Lillian, Miss May, you're right. I should just say it. He takes a deep breath, and the surveyors wince. It was the Capiman. Collective gasps echo throughout the cavern, followed by a flurry of questions. Lillian's heart sinks. Capimen? This deep in the forest? They've come so infrequently that most of the adults of Zurich have never seen one before. How could they be here, much less attack the people nearest them? "Let me finish!" Seth commands in a sea of voices. The panicked conversations immediately stop. "We made it to Albion's burrow, only to find the door torn from the ground. That only could have been done by them." "That's a pretty wild assumption," Miss May comments. "Are you sure?" "Yes. I wouldn't be saying this if I were not." It could have been another neighboring enemy. Rostad? We don't know what they're up to these days. "The door was torn from the ground, Miss May!" the chief shouts. Mary's mother shuts her mouth. The people of Zurich converse in hushed tones, expressing their fears. The children begin to cry, and Miss May holds them tighter. Lillian turns to Mary. Tears swell in her friend's brown eyes. Albion is only a few hours away. They're so close to us. You're right. That thought chills her to the bone. Why Albion? And why now? It doesn't make any sense. The Capimen have never been interested in them, and why would they? They're a tiny clan in the middle of the woods. "We haven't checked their burrow," the chief continues. "We were too busy running. I was afraid they were still nearby. I'm sure it's not good, but we should go back and search it just in case. The gatherers will leave in 2 days to check. While they're doing that, the surveyors will check that our bunkers are secure, and we will keep on the lookout for Capimen. When everyone returns, we'll decide what to do next." Sighs of relief echo through the cavern. "But," Lillian holds her breath, "if you hear anything suspicious, hide immediately," Seth directs. Lillian nearly lets out a groan. They do that anyway. How is that going to help? "And when you hide, wait much longer to go back outside. We can never be too careful with Capimen," the chief finishes. With that, the meeting ends. Everyone separates into groups, and Seth gathers his surveyors to discuss the plan for their next mission. Soon, Lillian will be in that huddle. She just needs to wait a little longer. She sighs and checks on Mary. The blonde's eyes are watery, but she still musters a smile. "Hey, on the bright side, at least we still get to go outside." "Yeah," Lillian says. She's hardly thinking of that now. Something about this doesn't feel right. Their ancestors moved to the Giant World specifically because Capimen don't hunt here. Why are they doing it now? This makes Lillian's spear problem feel so trivial. She stares at the weapon. It still glows orange, matching the torchlight. With it, a fire burns in her heart. Even after this grim news, Lillian's dream remains the same. In fact, she wants it even more now. She's tired of hiding and relying on others to care for her. Her father needs her help. All the surveyors do. She's trained. She's learned. She's ready. She will join the surveyors. Still, a thought burns in the back of Lillian's mind, making her tremble. It threatens the bravery she's worked so hard to conjure. No, don't think about that. She tries to put it out of her mind, but it doesn't budge. It's as rooted as the trees. "Albion is only a few hours away," Mary had said. It's true, and everyone knows it. They're just too afraid to say it, or even think about it. But if the Capimen are hunting again, then we're next. And that's it. Hope you liked it. I'll see you guys in the next video, okay? The book is already out, and the link will be in the description below. As for the audiobook, it is coming out in 2025. I will let you guys know more when I have the information.